Why is psychotherapy so expensive? Hi, if you're new to my channel, my name is Tracy. I'm a licensed clinical psychotherapist and I'm in private practice. This is a question that has been floating around in society. I see it on the blogs and I see it in social media, and I get it. Therapy is very expensive, but here are some of the reasons why. Number one, it's an investment. If you get a good therapist, you're paying for their expertise and training. And if you're coming in and you need some healing or ways for stress management or whatever it is that you're going through, you're paying that therapist to give you the tools or the treatment modalities that will help possibly transform your life for the rest of your life. That is worth the price. You know, there are a lot of therapists that they're trained in certain modalities. We as therapists get to pick which modalities that we want. So it is helpful if clients have any idea what it is that they need treatment for, number one, and also some of the treatments that are available, because it's not a one size fits all. There's a lot of therapists that won't touch trauma work. They focus on the here and now and what you're dealing with in the present or what's to come that you're feeling maybe anxiety about, for example. And so if you don't know what you need help with exactly or how that therapist can help you, then you might feel like you're just floundering. So when you do a consultation or you reach out to a potential therapist, do your research. A lot of therapists have Psychology Today, and it tells you what they're trained in, what their specialties are, what insurances they take, and all that other stuff. But therapy is designed to set you up for success for going forward. So back to your paying for the expertise. There's a lot of behind the scenes workings for a therapist, especially if they're in private practice. There's obviously the overhead fees. The fees are endless. Fees for all kinds of random stuff. CEUs that we pay for, which is continuing education credits. Like EMDR, for example. The basic training alone for a 2-weekend format for the training, plus the consultation hours that go with it, is about $5,000 just for the basic training. That is so expensive. And if therapists are expanding in their niche, so for example, I work with complex PTSD, anxiety, depression, and dissociative disorders. That's mainly what I work with. All of my trainings that I take for complex PTSD stuff, it's very expensive. And then when we pay for consultation, so consultation is different than getting supervision. So when a student graduates from a master's program, you do, at least with the LMHC, which is licensed mental health clinician, once we graduate, we still have to earn supervision hours. So we do face-to-face with clients wherever we work, and then we put about an hour a week aside for supervision. Sometimes you pay for the supervision, sometimes it's part of the employment that they offer. But once you get beyond that and you meet all your supervision hours, and let's say they go into private practice like myself, I once in a while will pay for consultation, and that's very expensive. It's what I pay is up to $200, about $150, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, and for an hour, so it's very expensive to get trained, and also the education. So psychology, it's Depends on where you go to school, of course. But that's super expensive. And then you have the school loans, right? For what feels like forever. So you're paying for the investment, you're paying for the expertise, you're paying for the confidentiality. That's priceless, you know? And so it also matters where the therapist lives or works, what state, because every state, at least in the United States, there's a different fee schedule that the insurances pay us. And if you're paying out of pocket, well, that is often comparable or very close to what the rates are that the insurances would reimburse. And there's also supply and demand. I mean, there's so many potential clients that need therapy, but a lot of the therapists have a full caseload. So it's difficult. I understand it's very difficult to try to get in with a therapist to begin with. But this video is about why is it so expensive? So these are the reasons why. I hope it makes sense to you, and let me know what you think. I know for myself, I've had throughout my life since childhood therapists here and there for myself, because I think everybody could benefit from a shrinky dink, if you will. And there are times where I don't want to pay that deductible amount, or even that copay is too high. And so I have dropped out, in the past. I get it. It's expensive, but it's also worth it. Clients that come in to see me, I'm not perfect, but every time a client comes in from day one, I look at what does this client need from me in our therapy together so that they can be set up for success for the rest of their life, so they don't have to return. So it's like a wraparound of services in terms of different modalities, or sometimes somebody has depression and anxiety, and CBT is maybe what they need. And with CBT, you could just do a couple of months worth, if that, to learn about the cognitive distortions, learn how to reframe, and to flip how those patterns of thought, those maladaptive patterns of thought. So a CBT therapist is going to lay the foundation for that and work with you to help shift your thinking, which can be applicable in so many situations. So many. It's endless. Now, I'm not saying all therapists are good. I've had my fair share of seeing therapists where I'm like, wow. I had a therapist one time. It was an appointment later in the evening. It was at their home. It was kind of like a library set up in their home, which that was fine. And about 3 or 4 sessions in, and I still remember what we were talking about. She asked me a question and I went to go answer it, and she dozed off. She dozed off for a good 20 seconds. It was so obvious. And then when she, came back online, if you will, she just picked up as if nothing had happened. So of course I never went back to that therapist. I've had therapists that they lack empathy. That's not going to work. Certainly doesn't work for me. I've had some that were so judgmental. But I've had way more good therapists than the ones that I wouldn't return to go see. So I tell clients, when you're trying to find a therapist, give them at least 3 sessions worth to see if it's a good fit. You'll get a feel if they will be able to help you, and you can ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no no dumb question. And, interview the therapist, because it's a relationship and it's an investment. You want to make sure that it's going to be a good fit. So I hope this video was interesting and you maybe help you to think about investing in therapy in the future, because it can definitely be worth it. Thanks for stopping by, and if you like this video, feel free to subscribe. See you next time.